Hello, my friend, and welcome. This is your moment. I'm Katarina Miletic, and you are listening to the podcast that will challenge you to think with your soul and believe that your only power is inside you. Hi, James.
Hi, Katerina.
Hello. I am so thrilled to welcome you to This Is Your Moment podcast, as this is the platform for people exactly like you. People full of life, full of energy, people who love to inspire other people and who live to help other people. How are you feeling today?
I'm doing really well. And first off, Katerina, I just want to say thank you. I'm very honored to be part of your podcast and your show. And thank you for inviting me to be here with you. It's such an honor. And I'm so happy to be here to help share my message with your viewers and your listeners.
Thank you. I'm excited about it. And I wish you were in my life years ago when I was looking for that right fit, right? I went from job to job, trying to figure out how can I give more. And somehow the employers were not interested in supporting those aspirations of mine to grow. So to see someone who helps people transition from one job to perhaps finding a dream job is a role that traditionally attracts different sort of has different leaders than you, James, but you lead with your heart, and I am really dying to let you speak here so that you can tell us how you approach this subject and how you help people. What is the passion behind it?
Thank you very much, Katerina. And it's quite funny that you said that you wish you knew me all those years ago, right? And I'll tell you something, Katerina. I wish I knew myself now 20 years ago when I started this journey to figure out what I wanted to do in my life and, what would be the dream career for me as well, especially, growing up, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't have a clue. And, I turn around and I see those people that are so certain I'm going to be a doctor, an engineer. And I said, wow, how can you have that certainty? How can you have, you know exactly what you want from a young age? I didn't have any of that. Okay. And the thing is, I didn't even think to find somebody to help me with this. This is just me thinking, this is just something you have to figure out on your own. Right. So, you asked the question is, how did I get to where I am to help others? It's through 20 years of trial and error in my career, as I've transitioned into 6 different careers to get to where I am now, right? Because so in those 6 different careers, I enjoyed it. I learned new things. But at the same time, there was something inside me that said, is this it? Is this what I'm meant to be doing for the rest of my life, my working life, And when I see myself and ask myself the question, Katarina, can you see this doing this for another year? Can you see this for another 5 years? Another 10 years? No, right? So when I get that question and it's no, it's time to look for something else. Okay. So that's why I've changed careers so many times. But at the same time, in between those jobs, there's been a lot of periods of unemployment. So, when you're young, it doesn't feel as bad, although you're still as frustrated. But as you're older, and I've now got a wife and 2 kids, I'm the main breadwinner for the family. It's not just me anymore. So when you can't find a job, and I know in the middle of the pandemic, it's what's happening now, it's stressful, right? People talk about dream job. No, just give me a job. I get that, Katrina, I get that. But the thing for me is, but you want to be spending 8, 9, 10 hours a day doing something for the next 5, 10, 15, however many years. We might as well enjoy ourselves as well.
enjoying ourselves at what we do, that
Yes,
is the doorway to going further in life,
yes,
to growing, isn't it? Because
I
if we are
completely agree.
unhappy in this place where we are now, in this moment, we don't have access to that vision. We don't have
Mm.
access. We can't close that gap as quickly as we can, perhaps, when we do allow ourselves to enjoy and give our best in the role that we are in. I don't know if that is a different subject to the one we're talking about, but career is certainly something that most of us will consider in our life.
Mm.
We will consider what we are called to do. Do you have some insight? How do you help people figure out if they can't decide, what which way to go?
That's a great question, Katerina. And what I would say to that, if you can't figure out which way to go, just choose one, right? What you see, the thing for me is a lot of the times we're thinking, this is my decision. That's the one, and I'm going to go with it regardless. And then I said, sometimes life is a question of trial and error. We got to try things out. And if it doesn't work out, it's not about staying there, but having the courage to
Mhm.
say, this doesn't work.
Mhm.
It's time to do something else, trying to explore something else, you know?
Beautiful. Yes.
So like that's what this for me is, just try things out. That's what I've done, right? I've got to where I am, helping other people through their mess and their challenges because I've lived through it. So I'm
Mhm.
trying to condense 20 years of trial, error, pain, shame, frustration, pulling your hair out.
Mm.
And that's what I try to help people. Because it's like, if you're stuck in a job you don't want to do anymore, the worst thing you can do is jump into another job where you're doing exactly the same thing again.
Mm. How
And when
many
we're burnt
times?
once,
Yes. Sorry, how many
right?
times we have done that, right?
Yes,
Mm.
yes. And the thing is, when you take so long to jump from one job to the other and it's just as bad,
Mhm.
people start thinking the problem is them,
Mm.
right? Because
Yes.
they say, well, I've tried it, it didn't work. So I'll just stay here. And people choose safety. We
Mhm.
choose as humans, we choose safety over chasing what it is we want, right?
Mhm.
And it's funny, you talk about career and having fun and all these sort of things. I'm a big believer, Katerina, that in terms to be the best at what you are in whatever career, whatever field, whatever speciality you want to go into, we need to enjoy ourselves and have fun and be passionate about it. Because when we're passionate and when we enjoy what we're doing, that's when the creativity comes. That's when
Absolutely.
the ideas, that's when you can even be even better at what you do. And that's when people see the passion for what you do,
Mhm.
they will pay you for
Yes.
that and the expertise and things that you do. Because it's not just a 9 to 5 or
Mhm.
something where you finish work, you switch off. You're passionate, you'll be always thinking about it. And for the workaholics, that can be a challenge as well, too much
Mhm.
work. But it's not work if you're enjoying yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Do you know what I wondered often? I haven't yet asked you this, but do you offer your advice to entrepreneurs as well? Because the benefit of your experience, I think, could be vastly appreciated in our community as well.
That's a great question, Katerina. So here's a problem. As an entrepreneur, we're told to niche and just help. I've heard it said a couple of times where it's low hanging fruit, right?
Mhm.
So do
Mhm.
what's easiest for you. So
Mhm.
as I've tried different businesses in the past, and it didn't feel right, didn't align, and but I think that's what I'm doing now is made it even stronger, right?
Mhm.
So
Yes.
Katerina, do I help other entrepreneurs? Yes, I do.
Mhm.
Okay,
Oh, I
I
do.
already do that anyway. But for me, it's just like bouncing ideas around because just like choosing a job,
Mhm.
choosing your business and your niche is exactly the same thing. You
Yes.
have to feel aligned to it. Because
Mhm.
when you're aligned with your passion and what you want to do, okay, especially for entrepreneurs, right? We're going to be thinking and dreaming and strategizing about how we're going to serve our customers better,
Mm-hmm.
and do the best for the people that we want to help, right? So that when it aligns with our core and who we are and things like that, that's where the magic happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because and I know, Katerina, right? Right? Behind all the glossy brochures of what entrepreneurs are supposed to do, there's a lot of figuring stuff out, right? There's a lot of, roadblocks and challenges as we try to launch a business and everything like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that when you're aligned and and you feel, it feels right, it looks right, it sounds right, that this is the business for me, we're more likely to stick in it for the long run.
Yes.
Right? Because there's got to be challenges for every entrepreneur that's going to hit you, right? So it's just like,
Absolutely.
so yeah, great question. Yes, I do help entrepreneurs to the extent of helping them with their niche and getting clarity for that bit there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because for myself, I'm still throwing things at the wall to see what sticks in terms of marketing and all this other stuff, right? But I'm having fun along the way. So it's like, well, yeah, okay, working it out. But at the same time, I'm still helping my clients get the clarity, help them land jobs in the middle of COVID-19 all over the world, because it's the same thing. But yeah.
That is amazing. First of all, I'm impressed that you're listening to your own advice and going after one thing only and serving one.
It's so hard. It's so hard.
I know.
Yes, I'm doing my best.
I know that is the hardest thing. But secondly, you also live by what you say, that when you enjoy yourself and when you love what you do, the work becomes play. The work is joy. And you feel, you look and you seem so fulfilled by what you do, that this is almost every conversation we have is about this, how we move forward, how we go from one level to the next. And with entrepreneurs, it's like almost every 2 days we are on the next level, right? We're figuring something else out. So you doing it all, and you have dropped so much wisdom that I have never done this since I have this podcast, but I would invite guests to re-listen to at least this last question that I have asked you, because the answer there offered so much insight that they need to read between the lines, between the paragraphs, and take all of those gold nuggets in. Thank you for that, James.
Thank you very much, Katerina.
It's a pleasure. It's truly a pleasure. And one thing that always fills my heart is the connections that we make.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Every single relationship with another person, with another human being, without thinking, is this my next client, or is this my next best friend, or how can we take this forward? Just giving it opportunity, just being open enough to explore, you enrich another person, and you can take in the wisdom that they have collected along the way. And that to me is priceless. That is why I love doing what I am doing here.
Amazing. Yes. And I love watching, listening to some of the great people that you've already interviewed so far, and what you're doing as well, Katerina. But I think also, as well as you said, is we the great thing about what we do is when we attract other like-minded individuals, right? And you've got your business growing, I got my business growing, but there's no competition.
No.
Because I say to people, look, we're all unique. We all do things in a certain way. And there's, 7.8 billion people in the world. You can't help them all. And they all want different things, right? But the thing about, what we're doing, what we're learning, and, as you're growing as a community of entrepreneurs, Katerina, is that, okay, I can't help this person, but hey, Katerina can, right? And that's what I'm saying. It's like, the thing is, we just want to help people.
Indeed.
And sometimes helping people is referring them to the right person.
Yes.
In our network.
Yes. Yes.
And I think as well, Katerina, the other thing I want to mention is that, for me as an introvert and a quiet person, coming to launch my own business and doing all these podcasts and everything, right? If you talked to me 5 years ago, I would have told you, you're crazy. I don't know what you're talking about. And this is, but when you find your clarity, when you find your passion, right? And sometimes about careers. Now I help people through their careers, right? But I also speak to people to speak their truth inside of them to say, but what is it you really want to do? Because I'm a big believer that all of us already know what we want to do,
Uh-huh.
right? But there's a lot of self-doubt, and negativity, and friends that know what to do will tell us all these things that they don't even do themselves, right? But they give you great advice, apparently, right? And so stop listening to the people around us. Just listen to our heart, our soul, what it is it's saying. And sometimes you might need help to extract it out because there's so much, doubt around it. But if we listen and be still enough, we know exactly what we're supposed to be doing and what we want to be doing as well.
Indeed, such a great great conversation to have with you, and I love that we live true by what we believe in and what we do. And what your answer here inspired me to ask is, do you think that there is one way to solve a problem? Do you think there's only one way to reach the destination you want to reach, or do you think that there are multiple ways? I'm just curious.
Great question. Great question. I definitely think there's more than one way to reach a destination. And how we get there depends on each individual person and which one they do, right? The thing I would say, Katrina, is the problem is one way doesn't work for somebody, and a lot of people quit, right?
That's why what you were saying earlier, just pick one and try it, and then trust your judgment. Then if you give yourself, say, 3 to 6 months, and if you're really certain that doesn't work, then guess what? You have other options to explore, right? Don't limit yourself in thinking. Sorry I interrupted you there, but I thought that was the important message for us to highlight.
Most definitely. I say to a lot of my clients that I work with, if they get a new job that is not as advertised, on how great the company is, because a lot of marketing happens to get you in a company as well, right? When you get into a company, if it doesn't feel right, okay, do your best to try and see how it, to make it improve if you can. But if deep down inside said this doesn't feel right, then I say to people, that's the time when you start looking for something else. Don't wait 6 months, a year, 2 years before you finally had too much, and then you throw everything out and you quit the job when it's just too stressful. I always say to people, we need to be a good judge of our instincts, trust our instincts. Yes. If it doesn't feel right, there's something wrong. There's something nagging in there. Is to say, why are you investing your life away for a company that's not looking after you, that's not valuing you, that's not appreciating all the work and effort you put in? And that's why when I work with people, Katerina, I work with people to know their worth, know the value of their experience.
So important, isn't it? Because given the conditioning that we are subjected to from early on in our life, whether it's intentional or 99% of the time it's not even intentional. It's just that others have been subject to the same conditioning, and then they're passing this on, whether they're parents, teachers, media, whatever. But we have to be very, very strong to hear that instinct inside us, because that wants to guide us on the right way for us. And as we already established, there is not only one right way to reach your destination. So be out there and explore the things that you love, because that is where the clue is. How do you feel about that?
I love that. I love that.
Okay. That's good. I mean, I know that we resonate with each other, and it's like when you said what you said just now in your previous answer, it took me, in one situation, it took me 8 years. I actually knew that this was a wrong choice. It took me 8 years to be certain that it's the wrong choice for me to actually get out of that situation.
Yes.
8 years, so I would absolutely say you don't need to wait 8 years. When you know in your heart that something is no longer working out, give it a certain amount of time. If you want to give it one more try or one more go, whatever you're dealing with, and if it isn't working, then make that decision. You don't need confirmation of 8 years, certainly, to confirm that your instincts are right.
Yeah. And to add to what you're saying, Katerina, I remember being in a company for almost 10 years, right? I was a middle manager looking after teams and operations, and I'd moved different teams in those 10 years, but I was doing the same thing. And I tried to get out of it to different departments, but for whatever reason, I didn't match the qualification, what they were looking for, okay? But then, you look at it, is it 10 years? And then the question I asked myself, but is it 10 years of experience almost, or is it 1 year of experience times 10? Because the problem is sometimes when we're especially in positions where we're not growing, we're not learning anything new. It's the same thing over and over.
Yes.
And it's like, well, I'm not learning anything. I'm just repeating the process.
Yes.
Different, same people, different problems, on a daily basis, but it's all the same thing. And so that's why when the opportunity came to offer redundancy, I put my hand up, and I've never looked back since.
Right. Yes, we really definitely have to trust more our gut instinct when it comes to making decisions and choices for ourselves. And it's not irreversible. Even if we sometimes want to try something that's really a little bit out there, I would say go for it if your heart is suggesting that you should explore it. And then if you find out it's not as thrilling as you like, or you prefer a little bit more certainty in your life, then you can make a better, more informed choice next time. Nothing is irreversible, I wouldn't think.
It isn't. No, it isn't. Completely.
When we talk about careers and things like that, let's make that clear.
Exactly. Yes.
Lovely. I could take this conversation in so many directions, but I want to mention that we have met through a storytelling class of all classes.
Yes, indeed.
So
yes, indeed.
Yes. I don't think the people saw that coming, but you are such a great storyteller, James, that
So are you, Katerina.
Thank you. I appreciate that. When I heard you speak, you almost made me want to look for a job. And for the past 3 years, I was like, I will never go down that road again.
Listen to your instinct. Listen to your instinct. It's there for a reason. No matter what the marketing side says.
Yes. I love your energy. And if I am in the vicinity of anyone looking to change the career and change the job, I know where I'm going to direct them. And I want to be part of your community, even though I'm not looking for a job, because I think there is a lot of insight that I have also gained I had 8 years of corporate career that can benefit somebody who is now in that position. So I don't mind sharing these experiences, because if it's going to help someone truly find that dream and connect with what they want to do in life, what truly makes them feel happy and fulfilled, then I'm always happy to help there.
Most definitely. Thank you very much for that. I'll definitely take you up on that offer.
So I want you to tell me now, what is your experience, and how do you see the storytelling connecting with we're going to go from an angle now of entrepreneurs again. Because I think sharing our personal stories is not only valuable, but necessary as well to make the right connections with the people we're meant to serve. So I want to hear how you feel about storytelling and what's the power.
Oh, so especially as you mentioned that obviously you and I have been working with Natalia with storytelling courses and things like. For me, storytelling is the essence of, how you connect
Mm-hmm.
with the type of people that you want to be working with,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it might feel random, and it might feel like it's just speaking from the heart and you're open and everything. But storytelling helps to, what the word you're using, captivate
Mm-hmm.
the right audience and connect them and bring them to you. So for me, storytelling. Okay, so I know we're talking about entrepreneurs, Katrina, but storytelling is sending your message out effectively. Okay.
Mm.
Now, funny enough, when I work with people on their CV, their resume, the interview, it's all storytelling,
Yes.
right?
Right.
It's storytelling to attract the attention of the hiring manager. As entrepreneurs, we're using storytelling to attract the people that we want to work with.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, unfortunately, in jobs, when you have a career, we have to work with people that we might not like, that
Right.
our values don't align with. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I say to people, when I speak to entrepreneur friends of mine, as a building working, as entrepreneurs, we get to choose who we work with.
Mm.
How amazing is that? We get to choose, right? So when we get to choose is when we tell our story
Mm.
to attract the people we want to work with, right? So if you see any of my videos, I intentionally high energy and crazy and all these sort of things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because the people that want serious, the suit and tie, the fancy background, great, go find them because that's not me, right? So my energy and what I'm doing and how I tell my story, which is different
Mm-hmm.
from everybody else, is part of my marketing strategy to
Mm-hmm.
attract the type of people I want to work with.
Absolutely. That is, it makes so much sense, doesn't it? Because only when you're in that real you, when you give your authentic self, and what better way to do that than through power of story, right? We
Yes,
all
indeed.
have vast experience, but when you connect the dots with the lessons that that experience has had for you, then you can truly help somebody and you can attract the right people. So the power of storytelling just goes on and on.
Completely agree. Completely agree. And for those people that watching this that are stuck in careers, right? When I was in that job for 10 years as a middle manager, right? I thought this was it, and this was what my life was going to be, right? And I didn't like what I saw
Mhm,
for the future because I looked at my senior manager's role. It's like, no, I don't want to do that.
mhm.
So, I just said, when you reach the ceiling and you look above and you don't want to go that way, where do you go? Okay.
Yeah.
And the thing about when you're working in a career as well, Katrina, is we have to put the mask on to
Mhm,
conform.
mm,
So we have to almost be like a different personality to morph and adapt to the office politics and the office surrounding,
mhm.
right? The great thing for us as entrepreneurs, we get to take the mask off. And really get to just be ourselves, right? And it's just like there's a lot of people who give us advice on how you should do this. It's like,
Mhm.
yeah, but what's the point of taking one mask off? I have to put another one to conform to do a business. It's like it doesn't make sense to me.
No.
And the other thing I want to say is now, right? From leaving that job 7 years ago that I've been in there, right?
Mhm,
I've lived in Spain for a year to do a
mm,
master's in
mhm,
and improve my Spanish as well. Right, I've worked here in the UK on the IT projects for the nuclear power station that they're building here in the UK, the first one in 25 years. Met so many brilliant people. There's like, can't believe I'm doing this, but I was there in the midst of them and working all of this, right? And I've started a new business. Well, it's
mhm,
not new anymore, but I started helping people across the world, right? None of this would have happened
mhm,
if I choose the safety route and
mm.
stayed in the job that didn't fulfill me anymore.
Yes.
So yes, when you're looking out, it is scary. It is scary, right?
Right. Of course.
But what's worse is when you're staying a job that's slowly killing you inside,
Mm.
and you're losing your zest for life
Yes.
and giving away your best years of your life
Yes.
for a company that only see us as a number and doesn't appreciate us.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. You then choose to live with regret, right? Because
Yes,
later on you're
yes,
gonna say, why didn't I take
indeed.
that turn? Why didn't I explore there? But then you might not have enough time to do that when the realization comes. So yes, such a sound advice there. And I love the analogy with masks as well. If you have been fortunate enough that you could remove one mask, why the hell would you want to put to put another one just for the sake of aspiring or pretending to be something that you are not? Just the
Yes,
freedom of being in your own authenticity is a great advantage, I think, in life and in business, right?
yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And you know, I would say to a lot of people as well that watching this is that, you know, I was there worrying about what my friends and family will think. You know, when you go from, you know, when you stay with the crowd to put your head above everybody else and just, you know, do all of this. I was there, right? And what I would say to you is, yeah, okay, they get it now. He's crazy. There's no hope for that one. Just let him keep on doing what he's doing, right? But, you know, but the thing about it is you find your true friends and family come out and support you for what you're doing when you want to be yourself.
For
They're there
sure.
to support you regardless, right? And it's like, hey, I'm helping people. I'm making a difference. I'm just not doing it in the traditional way where what we expected to do growing up. So, well, especially my family, that we're not really entrepreneurial, so I can't speak for anyone else.
Amazing, amazing insights there, James. And I want to invite you to send me your link so that I can
Okay.
put that in the description of the podcast. And if you want to summarize who is the person that you're most called
Mhm.
to help,
Mm.
and address them directly. I want to give you this opportunity to talk directly to them, because you've given me so much by talking to the wider audience of this podcast, which has entrepreneurial mindset. But I know that we have people as well who are career driven. So what if they are not feeling fulfilled? I'm thinking, let's
Mm.
serve them as well.
Yes, great stuff. So, Katrina, that's a great question, and thank you very much for this opportunity. From my perspective, the people I love helping are the people like me, you know, experienced professionals.
Mhm.
Okay, on the outside looking in, everything looks great, but inside we were dying. No, no, we are dying, right? And so when you're stuck in a job you don't want to do anymore, right? Before you chuck it in, or you can't chuck it in because you've got the family and bills, just give us a call to see if we can have a one-to-one to see, you know, what's opportunity, what's possible in there, right? Because I help the people stuck in jobs they don't want to do anymore get the clarity, get the fun back in their life of what it is they want to do, and to also at the same time understand the value of what you can do for an organization. Because a lot of the times, that was me, I had low confidence in myself. So that's why I stayed in a role I didn't want to do anymore, because I had low confidence in myself. And I get that we have people that have to pay bills and everything. And I'm saying, no, you're not chucking the job in. You're getting yourself prepared so that when the right opportunity comes along that you're looking for, those are the jobs you're applying for. Now, I'm not talking to people that want to apply for 100 jobs. It's like, no,
Mhm.
that doesn't work. I said, tell me what you want. When you get clarity of what it is you want to do, the job that you're looking for will appear.
Mhm.
And more than one, because that's what happened with some of my
That's what
clients.
happens, yes.
They told me off because they had the two interviews, and both of them offered her a job to some of my clients, right? And they blame me. It's like, it's your fault. It's like, what do you mean it's my fault? They said, I have to choose now. And it's like, yeah, but you didn't have these choices before,
Yes.
right? And what a great choice to have. Take this job or that one, you know? So, yeah, I mean, for me, it's just like the job search process. For me, doing it all my own so for so many years. used to be so difficult,
Mhm.
right? Right. And so what I've said to people is, I can help people. I've invented a process called the 7-second resume blueprint,
Mhm.
right? Which is basically giving the hiring manager exactly what they want in 7 seconds.
Wow.
Why 7 seconds, Katerina? It's because in 7 seconds, right, your CV, your resume is just one out of hundreds applying for one job, especially now in the middle of the pandemic. You only have 7 seconds to make an impact.
Wow.
So give them what they want, right? And unfortunately, that means tailoring your CV resume for each role. But that also means that's how you stand out from the other 99% that gives one resume for every single job they apply for, and then moan and complain as to why
Mm.
nobody's getting back to them.
Right. Of course. Thank you so much for sharing that. I was going to ask you about the 7 second rule, if you would give us that, but you were step ahead there. Um, thank you. I'm sure that is going to be really appreciated, because that is an invaluable piece of advice and insight to have from somebody who has been in a role of a person checking those CVs. So you
It's the
know,
most
right.
boring job in the world, Katarina.
Mm. So you don't have much time to read everything, all of those lovely things that we have done if they're totally irrelevant to the job that we are
Yes,
applying to.
yes, exactly that, right? And so, like I said, I can see how disheartening it is. People put so much time and effort into
Mm.
their CV, into their resume, the cover letters to try and attract the attention, right? And then the hiring managers, the recruiters, the people in HR might not read all of it. And I
Absolutely.
said, unfortunately, that's a fact of life. Just because finding the right applicants for one role is just one small part
Mhm.
of someone's job,
Yes.
right?
Right.
Businesses don't stop just because they're looking for that one person.
Exactly.
So help. So what I say to people is make it easy for the hiring manager to see how you can come in and help them. When you make it easy for them, you're more likely to get interviews. The more interviews you get, the more chances you have to close the deal in the interview and land the role.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I will make sure to put the link there. So whoever is at the position right now who needs your help, I would say do not waste a second. Call James and find out if indeed you're the right match to work with each other. And I would like to bring this conversation to the last question, and I didn't tell you in advance what I'm going to ask you, because
Oh, surprise!
I like my last questions to be a little bit out there, and with you I know
Love
I
it.
can reach
Love it.
there.
Bring it on.
just,
Bring it on.
just to show your fun character. Well, James, I know that you are a firewalker, and if you would like to share the story with us of how you met a certain somebody, I would appreciate that.
Love it. Love it. Okay. So, as Katerina knows and already knows, I'm a huge Tony Robbins fan, right? So in April 2019, I went to my very first Tony Robbins Unleash the Power Within 4-day seminar. Okay, it was in London, and I got into the room. I got into the room. I didn't know what to expect. It was always my dream to go to this Tony Robbins seminar. But I got into the London Excel Arena in London. There was 12,500 people there, right? And it's like, wow, this is great. This is cool. But I didn't know what to expect. And then when I was there, Katerina, okay, the music goes on and everyone starts jumping and doing all the, dancing and all of this. And I was like, oh my, what a bunch of nutters. And I was like, I'm in the right place. So I started jumping around, right? And, I was in one of the cheaper seats at the back, all the way at the back. And then this huge Tony Robbins come in and everyone's jumping and things like, and it was great. It was great, right? And on that first day, everything was flowing. I felt I was in the right place. And then I said, wouldn't it be great to meet Tony Robbins? Wouldn't it be great? I would love to meet Tony Robbins. And then, so for those of you that haven't been to a live event, I don't know when we're going to get the next live event, but I don't want to, sorry to spoil the surprise, but if you ever go to an Unleash the Power Within event, the first day you get a live one, you get to do a fire walk, right? And I said, I've never heard of it. It's like, oh my gosh, mind over matter. We're going to walk over hard coals of fire. I said, what? So I said, we did it, right? So as part of it is you're pretty much take your shoes and socks off in the arena, and then you're walking out, and I don't know about you, but in April in London in the evenings, right? This is it's still freaking cold. It's cold and it's freezing, right? So we're all there. I think of it as like huddled together like the penguins, right? Because there's more than 500 people go down the corridors and going there. And you're supposed to hold a partner's hand, Katerina, right? You have to hold a partner's hand, and I think it's make sure you have your buddy with you, and then so that and I think part of it is to make sure no one runs away.
Right.
Right? So it's like we're committed, we're going to do this. So on the way, I lost my partner, and because there's so many people, say that's fine, we're going to go with it. And so we're going there, and then we see about like 40 fire pits. Right? And it is dark at night, and you see the red embers and everything. Oh my gosh, we're going to do this. So I'm going in the queue and I'm going into lines, and then I get put into a queue, and then I look up, and then I see, Katerina, that the coach, guess who's the coach in front of us, right? The guy standing in front of me is Tony freaking Robbins himself. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to meet Tony Robbins. And then I was thinking, oh, sugar, what the hell do I tell Tony Robbins, right? I'm going to meet him. And then I was like, oh, what the hell do I tell him? So, as you know, Katerina, I'm from the small island of Fiji, and Tony Robbins has one of the best resorts in the world in Fiji as well. So I was like, okay, I got this. So in Fijian, we say Bulavinaka. Bulavinaka is hello in Fijian. So, I go to the front, and then I see Tony, and I Bulavinaka, Tony, Bulavinaka. I give my hand out to him, and he looks at me and he starts smiling. He shakes my hand and we give him a hug. And like, yes, I made the big man laugh, right? And after that, he got me, walking over the fire. And, it was just like that. But it was the best day, one of the best days of my life to meet him, right? And that was me for the power of visualizing what I wanted to happen. Right, I was in the cheap seat at the back. He gets paid, I don't know, millions for an audience with Tony Robbins, right? So I was nowhere near any of that things. But power visualization, whether it's in business or in your career, it does work, and I'm living proof of that.
Incredible story, and I love your energy, and I didn't know that you were from Fiji, but I knew that Tony has this lovely resort there. And when I heard you say that story for the first time, oh wow, it is just the power of when you just let the pure wish out there in the universe.
Yes.
Is this not telling what will come true?
Most definitely, and for me it was just like and the thing about it is when you can let yourself go to the universe, right, and have it align with who you are as a person.
Yes,
that's when the magic happens.
Yes.
So I'm consistently trying to get myself in that state and that flow as much as possible to get the things and plans I'm going to get for.
From what I'm observing, you're doing a great job.
Thank you very much, Katerina. I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best, but also having as much fun as I can. Because one of the things that I've realized is having fun is part of me. Right? So the more fun I have, the more things happen quicker and flow. And it's not to say that there's no challenges along the road. But because I'm having fun, the challenges don't seem as significant.
Yes, you feel more apt to deal with them, and you expect them. They're going to keep coming, right? And you will be able to deal with whatever comes next.
Indeed, yes.
Right. So that is I'm really glad that you've finished it on the power of positive thinking, because that is something that I strongly believe in. I believe that positive people generally have more fun in life.
Completely.
Because they allow themselves more fun. They don't deny themselves the fun.
Yes,
and does it always go right? Heck no. Do we mind?
Yeah,
No.
really not.
No.
It's just another, when it doesn't go right, it's another story. We can laugh ourselves and tell that story of how badly it went, right? But, you know, as we're learning, Katrina, we need the contrast in life,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
How we know and appreciate the good times if we don't remember and appreciate what we've learned through the bad times to get us there.
Right. Exactly. I think we can only go to a bigger and better place with the attitude such as this. Thank you so much for allowing me to share this platform with you and for enlightening all of us. Thank you, James.
Thank you very much, Katrina. Pleasure to be there, and what an honor to be here with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.